morning, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good Father's Day out there. I know I am. This video here, I need some help from my fellow Buick friends out there, namely the Turbo Regal Grand National guys that are out there. We took this car on a fun road trip about 2 weeks ago up here in the Ozarks and went through Oklahoma and Arkansas and had a great time. And the car ran flawlessly. And came back as we normally do and put the cars up. And then last week, Trish and I took it to town just to go on a Sunday drive. I think we had to run to O'Reilly's or something. When I came back out to start the car, I noticed I had to lay on the starter for a bit because it was very hard to start. Got it home and everything was fine. And then we parked it out in the drive because we had to do some work on the other car, the Charger back here. And I went to go start it back up and it wouldn't hardly start at all. And I finally got it started. I actually, of course, being fuel injected, I just held the throttle open and it finally started begrudgingly. So we know that there's some issues going on. So the background on this car, just really quick, it has 41,000 miles on it. My dad bought it brand new. I was with him when we bought it. The only things I've done to this car are I changed the injectors to the 32 PSI injectors. It has a turbo tweak chip. I have an adjustable fuel pressure regulator. I did add the mass airflow translator because the speed density sensor, I believe, was starting to give us a hard time. So I can't remember what vendor I got this system from, but it seemed to work really good, and it's been flawless. And I did change the fuel pump probably about 6 or 7 years ago, maybe, because it was doing something very similar. It was missing. It would just die, and I thought, that's probably the fuel pump, and it turned out it was the fuel pump. But, however, before I just go throwing parts, I'm trying to diagnose this car. So that brings us up to where we're at now. So we just came out into the shop to be prepared, and I opened the hood, and I had Trish get in there and turn the key into the on position, and the fuel pressure only went up to 10 PSI, so obviously there was a problem, right? And I'm like, okay, it's only pumping 10 PSI. Yes, you'd hear the pump. I had her turn it off, and it sat for maybe a minute, and then I had her turn the key back on, and then it jumped up to like 45 PSI and then came back down to about 32, and it fired right up. We didn't miss a lick. So I got on the Turbo Regal forums, and just to make sure that I'm not just guessing and just throwing parts at it. And I do believe there's a fuel pump issue. However, you guys on the Turbo, some of the old posts, this seems to be a maybe not a common problem, but I've seen a lot of people have the issue. Some of you guys had mentioned that one of these relays starts to go bad right here, and I don't know, I forgot which one, and I'm not really sure which one you guys had recommended changing, but I know like relays are usually good or bad. I mean, it's not like maybe they could stick, I don't know, but usually they're good or bad. So if you know which one I need to replace or what part number or anything, it looks like just a common relay, but I would like your advice on that. Number two, I would also like your advice. If we change the pump in this car, which pump do you recommend I put in this car? I believe that was a Walbro fuel pump, but I don't know. Actually, it may not be up to the task of the new injectors and the chip. I don't abuse the car. It's not something I go in and just beat on it. Yeah, I put my foot in every now and then to blow the cobwebs out, and it runs great. But this has always been, obviously, and it should be, no reason why it shouldn't be, it's always been a reliable car with 41,000 miles, even if it is, 37 years old, somewhere in there. I can do the math, but I just need to know what you guys recommend that we change on this car, being that it's probably more aged material components than obviously it is miles. So Let me know your thoughts, guys, of what I need to replace that with. Number two, what do you think could be causing this? Now, right now, I'm going to turn the key on. It's been sitting, I bet, for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So let's see what the fuel pressure regulator does. There you go. Didn't even hardly move. So now let's try to start it. Now it's back up about, I would say, where it needs to be. And maybe it came up and came back down. I didn't see it. It's running fine. Anyway, but guys, I need your gals, I need your opinion on this. This car has always been such a turnkey car. Obviously, they have all these cars they're well engineered cars. So please tell me, and also let me know, what does my fuel pressure need to be with these injectors? I've heard different settings. Again, this is a bone stock engine. The turbo tweak chip, the injectors, the fuel pressure regulator. Maybe it's possible that fuel pump's going out, but I've noticed it now in a couple different events that it's been very hard to start. And again, when we came out and we primed the system, the fuel pressure regulator only showed 10 PSIs. I was standing here when she turned the key. And then I had her turn the key back to the off position, and we waited about a minute and then turned it back on, and then it jumped back up where it needed to be. So, yeah. Just need y'all's opinions, because I absolutely love driving this car, and it's part of our stable, and it's going to be with our family for a long time, obviously. So guys, have a great happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. So have a good day. Hey guys, there's another thing I wanted to add to this video on the Grand National. I also read that there's the oil pressure switch. I guess it's this, maybe there's two switches, I don't know, but I did read that if that oil pressure switch goes bad, if it doesn't see oil pressure, that it would not start. Now it's starting, and I would think a switch is either good or bad. It's off or on. But tell me, you guys, let me know, one, where it's at, and two, have you had to replace yours because of this condition? Now I'm going to start it, and I think this is the way the car has always been. It's not like, say, one of these old cars, you pump the gas and everything's running really good, it's tuned, that it just fires right up. I think you got to, even my Charger with the Sniper, the way I've got it programmed is it doesn't just fire up immediately. You have to crank on it for just maybe 2 seconds, and then it fires up. That's so I can make sure it's got oil pressure. But tell me, guys, if this is normal. About right, but again, it's running okay right now, but I'm wondering if I go drive it, is it going to start acting up? And I don't want to lean, being a turbo car, you'll damn sure burn pistons. You turbo guys know this better than I do. You got to be really careful with boosted applications. But I just want to know, fuel pressure, fuel pump suggestions. If I need to increase the fuel pressure, they're just 32-pound injectors. The original, I think, was 28-pound injectors. So